Warning, the following content may contain spoilers for film and television programs. It is also intended for mature audiences. Viewer and listener discretion is advised.
Everybody was being too hipstery, so
they
didn't.
Gross.
Everyone was like, "Oh, it's so good because it's it's avant-garde, but it's just sock water," and nobody wanted to say it was bad.
I would have said it was bad.
Oh, that's gross. Rocko's Modern Life, though, great show.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Probably my favorite Nickelodeon kid show.
yeah, it was
from the
probably
90s.
mine.
I don't know why I'm saying from the 90s. I haven't watched a kid show since the 90s.
Top 10
I have.
Nickelodeon kid shows of 2015.
Let's do it, guys.
Ahoy, all of you Flick Freaks. We're leaving all that in, by the way.
Okay.
This is episode 66 of the Flick Freak podcast. Joining me today, we have the wrong half of Hollywood, Jareth Mooneyham. I'm going counterclockwise.
Whoa, it's a new approach to a new year.
The Radish Ravinator, Mike Boykin.
Yeah.
And the king of the doldrums, Brian Vaughn.
Hi.
Brian.
Yeah.
I say fuck it. We're just going to jump right into this.
Okay.
We both, again, have a Did You See That opinion of the week.
We do.
We saw Charlie Kaufman's news movie.
I didn't.
Oh, you didn't?
I didn't. You did.
I did see Charlie Kaufman's
Wait, do you want
newest
me
movie.
to pretend that I did and just speculate wildly about what happens in the movie?
I want to see how close you can get. So,
Okay.
The newest movie by Charlie Kaufman, Anomalisa. You do know this about it. It's a stop-motion
I
clay
do.
capture film.
It's the story of a Nerf football that loses its mother in a torrential sandstorm in Antarctica.
God damn.
Is that pretty spot on?
I think he probably
7.5
nailed it.
out of 10.
Probably
a
nailed
passing grade.
Yeah. See.
So, here is the IMDb synopsis. A man crippled by mundanity. Is it mundanity actually a word?
Yeah.
Is it mundanity?
I would never use that.
I would use
but-
banality instead of mundanity.
Yeah.
I would say by his mundane life is how I would say it.
A man whose life sucks.
Banana-ality.
But the way that they made it seem like his life was mundane and just, boring is there's only 3 voice actors in the entire movie. There's David Thewlis, who we know from the Harry Potter movies. He was also in Dragonheart. Do you guys remember the Sean Connery Dragonheart movie?
Yeah.
Yes,
He
I
was
do.
the evil prince.
Oh, okay.
Oh, that dick.
Yeah. And then Jennifer Jason Leigh, who we knew from The Hateful Eight.
Yeah, she's been around for some time.
And then Tom Noonan plays the voice of every other person in the movie. That's how they capture the mundanity, is everybody to this guy sounds the exact same. They all have the same persona. Men, women, all have the same voice.
Weird.
It is very weird, and it's kind of hard in some areas to because I didn't know that going into the movie. I'm like, oh, that guy kind of sounded like the last guy. And I'm like, wow, that guy really sounded... And then I had to look it up halfway through the movie. I'm like, it's the same voice actor for everybody.
That
and then
small
I
girl
realized-
also sounds like the guy next door.
Exactly.
Even the Nerf football was
little
voiced
kids,
by Tom Noonan.
Old people, they all sound the exact
That dog
same thing.
is also voiced by...
Yeah.
Bark.
But it's about this British man who's traveling to Cincinnati for a conference that he's hosting.
The
about
most mundane place he could travel.
Cincinnati, yeah. Go get some spaghetti chili. Which, have you guys been to Cincinnati?
Yeah.
Nope.
Yeah. So do you know the spaghetti chili
I
thing?
did not know that. No.
That's how they have chili. Cincinnati chili, you've probably heard of it. They put chocolate and
That's disgusting.
in
No.
the chili, and then they put the chili on top of spaghetti noodles.
See, that part
They
sounds
have
great.
done it wrong.
Does it?
But keep the chocolate out of mine.
I don't know about any of
Spaghetti-
that.
I don't
Yeah.
like sweet in my
keep
chili.
your chocolate
Yeah,
out of my meat.
Keep chili spicy.
That's why I don't like Coney Islander either. They've got like nutmeg in theirs. It's weird.
I also say keep your fucking starches out of my chili. Like, what are you doing? Like,
Hey,
I don't mind there being
Frito chili
starches.
pie
Starch
is a
is like-
starch.
Crackers are technically starches.
that's true.
Yeah.
Okay, you got me there.
Do you guys
But
do that?
I know
Crackers
what
in
you're
your
saying.
chili?
Noodles.
I do.
Yeah.
Nay to noodles.
No.
I love
Anywho,
noodles.
I love just not with chili.
That's the sound bite.
Pronounced no
Noodles,
autos.
9 out of 10.
Noodles 2016.
top 10 noodles of
Noodles.
2015.
All right, so yeah, he's traveling to Cincinnati to host this press conference, and while he's there, he meets this woman who is different from everybody else, played by Jennifer Jason Leigh, and he's just enthralled and fascinated by this woman. And the entire time she's like, oh, I'm just, I'm like every other person. He's like, no, you're not. You're incredible. You're astounding. I've never met anybody like you. He's like, and she's like, no, I'm pretty much just like anybody else. And then from there, the movie goes really weird because...
from there it gets weird?
Yeah, because there's a 10-minute stop motion sex scene.
Ooh.
Awesome.
Huh.
Okay, full disclosure,
And it's
I've
not
seen
like-
that part. You know what
Yeah.
I mean?
I watched it last night.
And it can only be described as that's what my nightmares of what old people having sex is like.
Oh boy.
Is it? It's not
It's
like
not-
a Team America style.
No, it's not like dirty, raunchy porn style
It's
sex.
gentle.
It's like, do you mind like moving over just a little bit?
That's brutal.
Hey, my back kind of hurts. You mind just scooting in? It's kind of like that, except
Yeah,
it's
can
not
you-
funny. It's
For
uncomfortable.
10
Could you
minutes?
hold my
10
colostomy
minutes.
bag
What?
while you fuck?
No. Okay, I should clarify. It's 10 minutes getting comfortable enough to have sex, and then 30 seconds of sex.
Okay, so life.
Jesus.
Yeah.
It's 10 weeks of
I
dogged
think
pursuit.
that's why I was really uncomfortable. Like, oh God, this is what it's going to be like.
Yeah.
Oh no. But
I just gotta say that since it's stop motion, that means that it took people like a full, 90 hours of filming.
Yeah,
to get
several
that scene.
days. They're like, okay, are his hips too far back?
was it an episode of Community where they decided to film a stop motion? Was it Community?
It's a
Yeah.
Christmas
And they
episode.
only got like 3 seconds in, and then they realized, wait, that's all I had? That's it?
No, because the Community, it was a
Yeah, they
full
did a
episode.
full
No. I'm thinking of, there was a show where the guy like lost his job or something. He's like, you know what? I'm going to make a stop motion clay movie. And he'd been working on it for like weeks and weeks and weeks.
I
He's
know
like,
exactly what you're talking about. Why can't I?
I thought it
Was
was
that not Parks and Rec when Ben isn't
It was
working?
Ben.
Yeah.
Ben lost. He was
Yeah.
like on vacation, and he's like, and he had
And that's
3
when he
seconds.
creates Cones of Dunshire.
Yeah, Cones of Dunshire, one of the best non-real fantasy games
Unemployed
ever.
Ben was great.
It also completely gets him in with all of the nerds.
Yeah,
No.
Like
All again.
all of the accountants.
yeah. So, yeah, Anomalisa, I will say the ending of this was like, you think this is going to turn into this happy-go-lucky story just from the... It pretty much... Because, like Eternal Sunshine, another Kaufman movie...
Such a great
It,
movie.
yeah, one of my favorite movies of all time. It ends up being, it works out in the end, and like, oh man, this is great. Not this one. I will say,
Because
out
the
of all
problem
of-
is there's a $10,000 bounty on Jennifer Jason Leigh.
yes,
And she has to be taken into town. Wait.
I'll take her to town.
I feel like
I
I'm
think you got that mixed up with Star Wars.
I feel like I'm...
Maybe
Yeah,
it just
I think I'm wrong.
rains. I mean, since they're
think-
clay,
so
because if you get clay
Kaufman's
wet,
primarily a writer. He doesn't really direct. He's only directed, I think, 4 movies. He's directed this, Sandusky, New York, and
Adaptation?
well,
Did he
to be
direct
fair,
adaptation?
directing 4 movies is kind of a
He did
lot
not.
unless
He
you're
wrote it.
like a
Did
huge
he-
director.
Yeah, yeah. Did he... Was he responsible for Nicolas Cage being an adaptation?
I don't know.
I don't know.
But so he wrote like Being John Malkovich. He made all these great movies. Anomalisa is not in my top. I think it would fall midway, maybe slightly less. I gave the movie a 7.8 out of 10.
Yeah.
Average film.
Which
hey,
is
they
much
can't-
higher, 7.8 on the Andrews scale versus the... If I give something like that, it's awesome.
I give mine American grading scale, so that's
Yeah.
a C plus.
Yeah.
7.8.
He grades like school.
Yeah,
I grade with 5 as average.
yeah. Like as it is on like a 1 out of 10 numerical scale.
Yeah.
A 1 out of 10 numerical scale, except when being used by most other forms of media, who say 7 is like normal.
Like me.
Yeah. Well, then you're...
I use 5 as average also.
Yeah. That's totally what I do. Because, you got to use the whole rainbow there.
Yeah.
Right?
That way, a 1 is not well, it's still the most abysmal shit ever, but it's not a dizzying plummet from 7.
Yeah, I think I gave something a 1 that was your dad's fault, Jareth. So, what was that? The man who
Man Who Fell to Earth?
wrote a saber-toothed tiger or whatever? I've been around forever.
Well, that would actually give us jump into top 5 news.
No, we got to talk about Patreon real quick. If you head over to patreon.com/flickfreaks, you can donate as little as $1 a month. We need to thank our newest Patreon subscriber,
Yeah, thanks.
Van Shipley.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
I know
who's
that
been-
guy.
You know that guy. He is one of our very close friends. And you know what? We are now supporting the backup catcher on Patreon as well.
Yeah.
So we just pretty much
It goes two ways.
exchanged money.
This
Brian
is a
came
back
over.
alley reach around fest.
Brian came over, handed me $1, and I handed it right back.
Yeah.
That's exactly how that went.
We could
People
start-
saw it. It makes us look legitimate.
We could start an art co-op, guys.
Yeah.
Just exchange the same dollar.
It's pronounced Art Coop.
Damn it, I've been doing this wrong all these years.
So now, as Jareth once said, we are now going to move into the top 5 news, not top 10 news, because we're going to be talking about later on the top 10 movies of 2015, and we need
Top
to cut
10
down.
Nicolas Cage movies of 2015.
So we're not going to be able to talk about some news items like how Sesame Street's moving over to HBO, which is a real thing. By the way,
That's weird.
I'm not saying that to make a joke. Sesame Street is moving over to HBO.
Real
I've
quick.
heard that.
Hey, at least with that movie, you got to see Rips Torn.
I wasn't actually talking about that movie, though.
Oh,
But
wait.
we did see Rips Torn in that movie.
Oh,
Rips,
okay.
Floppy
The Man
Torn.
from Earth, then.
The
That's
one
the
where-
easy-
If
That
there
one
was
is
one
awful.
word to describe
Yeah.
Rips Torn, it would be floppy.
It was floppy. It was flopping
Yeah.
all over the place.
And the scenes were weird.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, if he's talking about The Man from Earth,
I'm talking about that one where they sit around in somebody's house and they're like, but wait, you can't possibly be here since the start of time because... And then he disproves it, and that's like an hour and a half of that.
yeah, oh god, that movie. Okay,
That
yeah,
one.
no, that one,
It's
yeah,
your
that's
dad's
super
fault.
terrible.
Percival C. Mooneyham. I don't.
Groff.
That's him.
What's your dad's name?
Gruff
Brian.
flop.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
He's
same
probably
as
pretty
yours.
cool then. This was probably just an erroneous suggestion on his part.
I don't know if you guys knew this or not, but Rip Torn was in Men in Black.
Yes.
I did.
Yeah,
He was Z?
He
Zed?
was Zed.
Yeah.
But
It
Rip-
was the British Men in Black.
He was Will Smith.
Yes.
I think they still call him Zed.
I'll have to look. I'll have to watch it again. Top 5 news. We're going to start off with some very depressing news.
yes.
In 96 hours, the world lost both David Bowie and Alan Rickman to cancer. Both guys were 69. Both guys were British. Both guys were legendary.
Yeah, pretty terrible.
It was a shitty week.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is how I woke up every day this week. That's how
Yeah,
I felt.
that's exactly
As
how I
would
woke
wake
up.
up and do the thing where I lie in bed and peruse the internet before
On your phone?
Yeah,
Yeah,
before
yeah.
I make myself actually.
Brian and I have
Go
the
to
exact
work.
same ritual whenever
Yeah,
we wake
that's-
up because your
what
legs don't want to do shit.
No, and
Yeah.
it's really warm in
I
there.
think that's pretty common.
Yeah, I think it's a thing now.
But yeah,
And that's what I found on the internet, and then I immediately was in a terrible mood.
didn't
I
get
didn't-
out of bed for the rest of
I
the
was
day.
like, I'm not going in.
I didn't think about, well, I did, but like having David Bowie in the world definitely made things potentially more magical all
Yeah,
the time
That's
forever.
exactly how I
The
took
fact
it.
that ever David Bowie existed and walked into rooms like he must have in Labyrinth whenever he steps through, what's her name's window? Like
Jennifer Connelly?
Jennifer Connelly, no special effects. That's just how David Bowie walks into a room.
Yeah, they
Yeah.
didn't add a fog machine or anything. There's like enter the window, and he did.
Is it bad that one of the first things I thought of whenever I heard that David Bowie passed away was the episode of Flight of the Conchords?
Oh, yeah,
It was
which is
Jermaine,
great.
Where he just every single night he visits Brett. He's a different version, He's
which is kind of a
the
a
Ziggy
cool
Stardust
tribute to
tour.
the fact that I mean, he was very versatile and stayed relevant in some way or another for, I don't know, 40 some odd years.
He was the Johnny Depp of the music industry for the fact that he looked so different.
Yeah.
He had so many different personas. The
But
Ziggy Stardust,
thankfully,
the
he
Labyrinth.
actually did something with his ability.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I will say I do think Johnny Depp is very talented and
I do
very
too.
versatile.
I just think he,
Now
Needs
he's
to
just
stop
the
working
same
with Tim
guy
Curry.
now.
yeah.
I don't know, Black Mass.
That's true. Black Mass was a
His
real
performance,
offshoot for
anyway.
him.
His
I could use
performance.
less Johnny Depp with like monocles and top hats and like squids for facial hair and
Yeah, I
stuff
said
like
I
that.
said Tim Curry. I meant who
Tim Burton.
Tim Burton is who I meant.
Dude, a Tim Curry Johnny Depp movie. I'm all about that.
That'd
Where's
be
that
awesome.
movie?
That'd be really weird.
Like a a remake. No, are they remaking Rocky Horror?
Probably.
Probably. Johnny Depp's going to be
If
Rocky
you start
Horror.
a sentence with "Are they remaking?" the answer
Answer
is
is
yes.
yes. Okay. But so we lost David Bowie.
Yeah.
He's now a starman
Yep.
gazing in the sky.
Yeah.
And then we lost, God, this actually, I don't know, I think David Bowie hit me harder.
Yeah, Bowie bothered me more.
Yeah.
As somebody that listened to David Bowie a lot.
I mean, they're
as,
both
like, a
horrible
15-year-old.
tragedies and huge losses, but
But then we lost Alan Rickman.
Yeah.
I mean, Hans Gruber. We
Yeah.
lost Hans Gruber.
Fucking, I don't even like Harry Potter and like Professor Snape,
Snape,
man.
yeah.
Yeah, and he, as somebody who really
The
did
fucking
enjoy Harry
Metatron,
Potter,
guys.
he was
Yeah.
great.
That's honestly, that's my favorite role of his. Is
Dogma?
him
Yeah.
in
No.
Dogma.
Yeah,
Mine's Dr. Lazarus.
oh,
from
and
Galaxy Quest.
Oh yeah.
Also,
So,
I forgot about that.
by
Until
Grabthar's hammered, Alan Rickman, whenever I defeat cancer, you shall be avenged.
Alan Rickman also, I was looking at his, I'm sure this is what everyone did. I was looking at his IMDb page.
Yeah.
Just looking through his filmography.
So
and
fucking
apparently
good.
he had a role, and I don't remember this at all. You guys will probably be like, what the fuck are you talking about? There was a movie in the 80s called Quigley Down Under
Yes, there is.
with Tom Selleck and a
Yeah.
lot of Aborigines.
Yeah.
And apparently Alan Rickman was in that movie.
Wasn't he like a big game hunter or something in that
That
movie?
sounds right. I think.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah.
Because I remember Quigley Down Under.
Yeah.
Wow.
Tom Selleck. That guy got fat.
If you mean it with a PH, with his,
I see what you did.
Dat booty don't stop.
That-
I suppose it's worth
That
mentioning that
mustache don't
David
stop.
Bowie is my namesake.
That's
Yes.
true. That's very true. His character in the Labyrinth, Jareth.
Yep.
Yeah.
God, that was such a depressing week.
Yeah, I'm hoping we're done with that. David Bowie released an album the week before he died.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's so
Apparently, he was
badass.
working on a new.
Yeah.
So I don't know if they're going to release that music as like a short EP or something.
I don't know.
Kind of like what they did with Michael Jackson's, like his live concert. They just released which I don't know if you guys saw that documentary or not.
Nope.
It was like shockingly good. Like, wow, that was going to be his next concert.
The other day, I was totally listening to Off the Wall. Michael Jackson's out, like second album or something.
Do you
I was
guys
doing that at
actually
work.
like Michael Jackson?
Yeah, I do.
I love Michael Jackson.
I like his earlier stuff.
What's on Off the Wall?
I couldn't tell you the name of any song on
I
anything.
think They Don't Care About Us is on Off the Wall, which is my
Yep.
favorite Michael Jackson
Okay.
song.
I think that it is.
Yep.
It is.
It is my favorite Michael
I listened to that a whole. Okay, weird. I used to listen to that album a whole bunch while I played StarCraft when I was like 10. I don't. Just the thing that
Yeah,
happened.
it was an album someone had in my house.
Oh, everybody
when
had
I was
it.
growing up. I don't know. I didn't have it. It was actually when I say
I
album,
say everybody had, it's not like Thriller. Everybody had Thriller.
Oh, fuck.
literally everyone bought through it. Like I didn't.
The
realize
highest
that I
grossing
did it when I
album
did it.
of like the highest selling album ever. Yeah, literally everybody had it.
Yeah.
Didn't like the video win like a movie award or some crap?
Yeah, because the music video was like what 15 minutes long. I think it was nominated for like a short film.
Yeah, something like that.
Speaking of nominations,
Fuck.
the
Nice.
Academy Awards were announced on January 14th. Holy fuck! So get this.
Hey guys, let's just take a victory lap because. Yeah.
94% of the nominees were white.
Hey,
Yep.
we're all white.
77%.
94% of us are white.
Yes.
Somebody's got a secret.
I will-
Technically, I'm 90% of that whiteness, and then it's shared between the rest of you guys. So then
Which one of us is the whitest?
Probably me. I'm Swedish.
Yeah,
Andrew's pretty fucking white.
you are very. You're.
I'm like the definition of Aryan.
You're like a
Yeah.
little graham cracker.
Like I'm Hitler's wet dream.
I've got
Okay.
German and a lot of Indian in me.
Engine.
So that's why we're not 100.
Nah.
So okay. So nominations for the Academy Awards: 94% white. 77% male.
There's our
And the only
demographic
reason
again.
why, okay, I will say this. I don't know if you noticed, 77%, you know why it's 77%?
Why?
Because of leading actress and supporting actress. That's the only reason why
Oh, yeah.
it's not 100. Is the categories where men can't be nominated is the only place where it was not only men.
What about
Yeah.
like the song and those awful songs that they parade
All
around
men.
throughout the
I think it's all
Oscars?
men. And then
Does Sam Smith count as a man?
so to finish up the other 6%, Of the 94% white, 2% black, 2% Latino, 2% Asian.
Well, they had to spread it out there a little bit, right?
So some of the Oscar snubs this year, Idris Elba did not get nominated for Beast of No
I was
Nation.
surprised. I was surprised by that.
That's baloney.
Yeah,
Michael B. Jordan did not get nominated for Creed.
not surprised by that.
The director did not get nominated for Creed.
Yeah.
Creed did not get nominated for Best Picture,
Huh.
which is blowing my mind. What took its place was Bridge of Spies, the Steven Spielberg, Tom Hanks movie, which was a very average
There's
movie.
always a movie or two where it's kind of like, huh? Like, that's just a movie.
For me, I thought that the biggest Oscar snub of all time for nomination-wise was... it wasn't. I think it was called Driven. It was a Ron Howard movie. No, that was... It was Ron Howard and then... Chris Hemsworth.
Oh.
Rush?
Rush. Thank
Yeah.
you. I was having a brain fart.
I'll tell you the biggest one. God, now I can't think of the name. Oh, the biggest like snub for Best Picture for me that I can remember, or
For
the one I was
nomination.
most for even getting
Was
nominated.
Prisoners nominated?
Prisoners was not. That,
Okay,
that
then-
would be one of them. And then Doubt, the year that
I
came
thought
out.
Doubt got nominated.
No.
Writing. It got nominated for
writing
writing,
and
and then
some
Meryl
acting.
Streep, and then
That
Hoffman.
was like
Meryl
the
Streep?
weirdest tense movie for the like subject matter that sounds so straightforward.
We can spoil Doubt unless you guys haven't seen it.
I haven't
care.
seen it,
Okay, then.
but I don't care about
Did
spoilers.
you know how?
That's great.
Did you know how like it was going to end or whatever?
Well, there isn't one,
That's
which
what I'm
is
saying.
just great.
Did you think there was going to be some finality to it?
Yeah, I thought so, and
Did you have any doubt?
it was. I had.
That's
I
how
had my
that's how
doubts.
the movie ends. Like literally, the last words of the movie are "I have so much doubt," and I'm like, "Oh fuck." Wait,
Yeah,
and then
it
the credits.
was,
I'm like, "Well, what? I need to know."
And that's a really great scene, the Meryl Streep, Amy Adams scene
Yeah.
at the end of the movie.
I think that was the first time I like really took notice of Amy Adams. Was that
Yeah.
movie?
Oh, I've taken notice of her.
Oh snap!
Yeah.
But I mean, like, wait, she can actually act. But yeah, so apparently people are super pissed, and I totally understand why. Because this is like the second year in a row where the African American director was snubbed, or like,
Yeah.
okay, so you want to hear something totally ridiculous? All the nominations that Straight Outta Compton got went to white people.
That's pretty funny. I do have one problem with Straight Outta Compton, which is that it wasn't very good.
I love Straight Outta Compton. That
It
movie,
was that's the kind of movie I don't like, and what I mean by that is just like really straightforward, linear
documentaries, sort of.
biopic, halfway. Yeah,
Biopic.
Yeah, that's how I'm going with
Not
that.
bio,
That's how I thought it was pronounced for years.
not biopic.
Well,
Yeah.
you really can pronounce it however you want.
That's true.
It's a free merc.
This would make sense if there weren't so many movies that came out in 2015 that had,
Yeah,
you know,
Yeah.
like,
Yeah,
people
like
of different
really-
colors, like and
the Idris Elba thing is like such a prime example.
Yeah.
That's a guy who's like a pretty big star too. Like, I mean, I don't know
and
why they
his
wouldn't
greatest
want-
performance in history of Elba.
Yeah, I am so surprised by that one.
Yeah.
that was a fucking scary ass movie.
But if there's one silver lining, it's that Sylvester Stallone did get his Oscar nomination for Creed, and he is going to win. I'm calling it right
He'll
now.
win. He should not, but he will.
Oh, he absolutely should.
I don't think.
Who else would win supporting actor?
Someone give me a list of the. Oh wait,
okay, so
I have a
off the top of
computer,
my head,
a
you
tiny
have-
computer in my hand. Actually, now that I think about it,
Have you seen Creed?
yeah.
He was so fucking
I'm
good.
gonna have to
Yeah, but
watch
have
it.
you guys listened to Creed?
Why don't we put on a Creed song
We
while
shall
you guys
not.
are looking
We
at your
shall
phones?
not speak of such things, Jareth. We shall. Maybe 6 feet ain't so far down.
Fuck
I wish
you.
it was spoken word like that.
It'd be better.
Right. That'd be
Okay,
great.
so
Why did I pick the worst article to actually just tell me stuff?
So going
Fuck
off
you,
the top of my
CNN.
head, you have Michael Keaton for Spotlight.
Mark
Mark,
Ruffalo,
or is it Mark Ruffalo?
Okay.
Okay, so you have Mark Ruffalo.
who is
The
my
Ruffles.
best friend. So
The Ruffles
that's-
dough.
He seems like he would be everybody's best friend.
I love
does.
that guy, and he's Mark Ruffalo's great in Spotlight. He's very agitated and nervous.
I know nothing about Spotlight.
It's a really good movie.
Cool, thanks.
That website I'm speaking of.
I know.
We don't mention it.
I do know Mark Ruffalo.
Yeah, that's what I just said. That website.
You know that drug dealer I was talking about.
Okay, so
Why do I not just have a...
why can't websites...
Okay, Christian Bale in The Big Short.
He was really good.
Awesome.
He was not as good.
Tom Hardy in The Revenant.
Yeah.
So good.
No,
Damn.
he's not Sylvester
Okay.
Stallone
Wait,
good.
Sylvester Stallone just plays an old boxer, and he does an admirable job of it. But it's very straightforward.
No.
Very straightforward.
Tom Hardy kind of killed it in the
He
Revenant.
kind of did.
Literally.
Oh, well, he killed...
Literally
yeah,
kind of killed
He
it.
did kill many.
But-
And he only kind of killed somebody.
Tom Hardy captured the essence of like dudes I've seen at
right?
Walmart and
No
Missouri.
shit.
You know,
That's one of the
He
things
had
I
a
s-
very, like, no pun intended, very Winter's Bone vibe
Yeah,
about
he
him.
did. He had
Like-
a little bit of teardrop in him.
One of the things I said when I finished that movie was like, it's like I know that guy. Like I
Yeah.
have met that guy.
I have met that guy, and
And
this is terrifying.
his accent.
You actually
too.
know somebody
Yeah.
who was scalped. And
No, but like his accent was so eerily familiar to me because
Yeah,
I've heard
I
it.
felt the same way.
And the weird the wide eyes thing he was doing there. Anyway.
He was always like, 5 seconds away from eating somebody.
Like,
Even if he had soup in front of him, he's just like, I'm going to eat that guy.
Yeah,
he had a very
eyes.
Trevor from GTA vibe
Very.
about him.
He had a little bit of that, a little bit of Macho Man Randy Savage.
Oh, yeah.
And
There is like a chemical makeup of like those people in him there.
there is.
Oh, yeah, glass. Yeah. Snap into a DiCaprio. Snap into a DiCaprio. It was green. Yeah.
Snap into an engine?
So
Snap into an...
Jesus.
Holy fuck, that's the most best racist things I've ever heard in my life.
It's not
Snap
racist if you have the blood.
Why can't Jareth, you are now the official t-shirt guy of even this podcast too. We're going to have a picture of Tom Hardy's character snap into an engine.
Wearing the Macho Man hat and sunglasses.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a really good idea.
This is actually.
This is probably the best idea we've ever had.
We should move on to number 3.
Do we have to? Because I feel like we've
I
had
want to talk about snap into an engine for the rest of this podcast. Okay, so yeah, number 3 on this list. CES, which is, the big electronic expo,
Yeah.
which apparently is just getting weirder and weirder every single year.
Yeah.
Do they have sex robots now?
I would not be surprised.
The technology-
Actually,
Yeah.
that would be the most normal thing at CES.
Because the weird thing about it is like the demographic is different for that, so they just pretty much parade out everything.
Yeah.
More or less. I don't know how they choose what they show, and it's some weird shit.
I think people just show up.
I think you're right.
So
First come,
'cause,
first serve.
one of the things that was one of the normal things that was announced was everybody knows about Oculus Rift.
Yeah.
The
Oculus Wrist?
Yes.
It's the machine that'll now jack off for you.
Yeah, that's
So-
the sex robot.
Oculus Rift. I guess the thing that really started pushing VR into the mainstream media. They finally announced the price point for what this is going to be released at. I should say, Oculus Rift, you get the VR headset and an Xbox One Elite controller. I'm pretty sure it's one of the Elite controllers.
Yeah, it is. Which is weird to me.
$600.
So what's the difference between an elite controller and a regular controller?
The
So that
Elite controller
it's
is
elite.
$150 by itself.
What is it?
does it have a blowjob machine? What
Yeah,
the
it
fuck?
is.
All
one
of our everything comes back to that right now.
So you know how
I'm really looking forward to one. I mean, I'm just waiting.
okay, so that's a really cool bulldog. That's a really
Just to be
you want
clear,
to snap a
internet
picture
there
real
was-
quick?
Bye.
I'm sorry, it was a really interesting fur coated bulldog.
Wearing some
There is a
sunglasses.
dog
love
parade
bulldogs.
coming through the room as we podcast.
That is like that bulldog could have been like on the poster for Pedigree.
Can it be like in Tom Hardy's arms on the T-shirt?
Yes, but getting back on track somehow. The Elite controller. So do you know how there's the big competitive gaming tournaments and how they all have their own custom controllers, like for very finite, quick movements and like really like action oriented buttons. There's even like toggles on the back of the controller and stuff like that for like if you don't want to like push in on the D-pad because it'll like move your analog stick a thousandth of a millimeter over. That's what the Elite controller is.
Gotcha.
But does it have a pad that does nothing but let you type your name in on it, like the Dreamcast? Sure, that's what I want.
Yeah,
that's what I ask for out of a
You could
controller.
probably set that up.
Also, is the Oculus Rift any different than the virtual reality that Jimmy Olsen used in Lois and Clark: The New Adventures of Superman?
it's a little different. It's more Ray Fiennes Gardner.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
I like that better.
It was Lawnmower Man. That's what it was. Lawnmower Man.
I like
the
that
Gardner.
movie.
That was the
That was
alternate
constant. That was
title.
Constant Gardner is what I was thinking of. That's the Ray Fiennes movie.
The constant gardener. He just doesn't stop.
no, more Lawnmower Man.
More pruning.
So like,
Lawnmower Man was a good movie.
Yeah, it was.
I guess so. I was initially Oculus Rift being $600. I was thinking of this as a console peripheral type thing. What it's actually more like is a monitor for your computer or a TV.
An extremely expensive monitor for your computer or TV.
But I mean, here's the thing. There are definitely people who spend that much money on like a 3-monitor setup.
I'm not saying that there's not a market for this, but I'm saying for the fact that, okay, Facebook bought Oculus for $2.5 billion.
Yeah.
Somewhere around that price point. And now Zuckerberg realized he just shot himself in the dick and that he has to make that money back somehow. But do you think that he could have made more money with this price point or more money with a lower price point and just getting more people to buy it?
If he dropped it down to 300, I'm sure he'd make his money back. I mean, unless it's like costing him $500 to make each one.
I don't see with like no new console or anything that comes out ever costs this much.
Well, the
No.
PS4 or 3 did.
I don't think
PlayStation
so.
3 had a $5.99 price point when it
See,
shipped.
I thought it was $4.99.
here's the big
I bought
risk
one.
because it's like
Day
like
one,
Mike said,
600.
it's like you're paying for a new TV or a new monitor.
You can get
except
a
you're
nice-ass TV for $600.
Yeah.
exactly,
You
and you're
really
not
can.
taking a risk. You know what the fuck a TV does, and you don't have to wear it on your goddamn head.
Yeah.
I'm never gonna get my neck tired from the TV just being there.
Just the sex robot.
Yeah, no, because
And that's worth it.
I'm not doing
that
any
is
neck
worth
work with the sex robot.
When you go down on the sex robot,
Why?
you have to reciprocate.
It feels no pleasure. Does it? Has it gotten so advanced?
I guarantee you one of the very first things that's going to be on the OR, I'm just going to call it OR because I think Oculus Rift sounds stupid.
Yeah.
But porn.
There's all kinds of
Porn.
stuff already.
Oh, yeah, because I guess there's like beta versions of the Oculus Rift that have been around for what, 3, 4, 15 years?
Yeah, they
something
got
like
that. They got dev kits out for that way early because
Yeah.
like they have to make sure that when this releases,
There's
it's
a
viable.
market. Yeah.
Yeah.
And at this point, there's definitely a lot of things that you can play with the Oculus.
So with these dev kits, explain to me how this works. If they send you a model and then they work on that model, do you now send that model that they gave you back and then they send you like OR 2.0 and then you try that one out and then you send it back until 3.0 comes out?
Probably.
Or
I don't know.
Or do you just get one and then they're like, sorry, you should have waited for one of the later dev kits?
No, it's I'm not sure exactly how that process works, but I know that you're basically working with as up-to-date technology as they can provide.
Okay.
I don't know about like how the updates as the process goes along goes, but I know that those people are working with the company to some extent.
Because I imagine that with OR, it's more of a hardware update and more not a software update. Because I'm sure the software technology for this has been around forever, and you can quickly update that. You don't need to. But with the actual hardware, like, it's kind of blinding on the sides, and it really takes you out of it.
Well,
So like, okay, so we got to extend the screen around a little bit. So that's hardware issue that you need to work on.
They've had some significant hardware changes, just like in rejiggering the weight with the battery and stuff. Yeah. So
I imagine like it would be very front heavy in your head, where like slowly like, oh, my neck is killing me.
That's so. It's so weird to see the peripheral shit that's been happening around this. So you might be familiar with Adam Sessler. Yeah. He was on like X-Play. He's actually a really good game journalist. Mm-hmm. He stopped being a game journalist, and he's actually been working at a company that they're like working with VR technology to like remove the wires from it. It sounds fucking boring. is what it sounds like. It sounds like a bunch of boring bullshit, and I can't believe he's wasting his time on that. Sorry, Adam Sessler.
Because he was a very good game journalist.
But,
One
like,
of my
that
favorites.
stuff, like you guys have probably heard of him because of like the last presidential election. But Nate Silver, who does a lot of like projection models for statistics, anyway, he was using that for baseball, and then he went and started using it for actual important things. And I wish he would go back to using it for baseball.
So there's two schools of thought with VR, and basically one is like, this is a fad. This is 3D TV. This is not going to actually catch on.
3D
But
TV,
then-
who cares about that?
I know,
But then there's the fact that there's porn on it, and that means it's here to stay.
it is
Porn
another
pushes
way.
technology.
It is
Yeah.
another way to experience porn, and there's
Blu-rays over HD DVD. Yeah.
Yep.
that school of thought, though,
Yeah,
that this is not going to catch on. The reason they think that, and I'm
that
kind of
turned out
there,
decisively.
is I don't think that we quite yet have the technology to really do this right.
We put
I
a
think
man
we
on the
do.
moon. We can do anything with
I don't
radar.
Think, I don't think this is it.
We created the Dreamcast controller.
I think we have the technology. It's just going to take the right mix of the right people
What I'm
getting
saying
in
is
touch with
this
each
isn't
other.
it. Is
Have
what I'm
we-
saying.
The Oculus Rift?
Yeah.
Have we,
Especially
gotten in
now with a
touch-
$600 price
So the
point.
other school of thought is that
This is the future.
this isn't going to catch on immediately, and it's especially not going to catch on with a mass market yet. So we're going to market it to the people that would spend this money, that would buy a 3-monitor setup or like a fucking huge ass projector bullshit. That the people that would spend $600, those people get it and it catches on with them. Then it will start trickling down.
See, I think that's what they've been
Thanks,
doing
Reagan.
with the dev kits, the trickle down theory.
You got to make it political, Brian.
But I think that
Let's let the rich people have
don't you
it
think
eventually.
that the $600 price point, that's what should have been like, all you're saying this should have been going to all the people who this market's going to be for. Don't you think those people have already been like dev kits since day one?
Right? I think a lot of those people
surely.
have that wanted to create stuff on there, but there's
There's also super video game enthusiasts,
Yes.
people
They
who are
just buy
like,
the newest. They'll buy like every single version of the Xbox One or the PS4 as it's released, like the Slims
Well,
or the Elites. Or
more
something like that.
probably angled towards computer gaming enthusiasts, because
Yes.
those ones are going to tend to be the ones with more disposable income.
Those are the people that,
For the Oculus. Because like there's going to be, I guess it's not Project Morpheus anymore.
that's where I was gonna. That's where I'm really interested to see how
That price point's going to be a lot lower. Hope
Yeah.
It better be. It better be. Or
that's got to be something like $200.
if PlayStation VR is around $500, that will kill every single VR
that won't
market in the future for anything. Oculus, VR, Microsoft, it'll kill it all.
the IT
See-
guy in Communities VR that he worked on.
That's
If anybody saw the last season,
You were just saying something.
that's my thing. Like I'm super interested in the Oculus Rift. I'm super interested in VR. I think it's a really great step forward in gaming. Especially fantastic for horror games. That would be fucking
Oh, yeah.
bananas.
PT on Oculus.
No,
Rift.
I'd die. I'd die.
No.
I'd literally
No,
die.
sir. Never.
But
Not happening.
it was scary enough when I was far away from the TV and I had a controller in my hands. I just like, nope, dead.
Still
but-
the scariest game I've ever played.
So if
Yeah.
like I'm definitely a good market, but I don't have enough disposable income.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't justify
This may shock all of
$600.
you, but none of us have that much disposable income.
So
Wait, none of you guys won the Powerball? What the fuck were
Well,
you
I
doing?
meant to mention
Slackers.
I didn't, in case you guys were wondering.
but like, so with all that, the $600 price point, what that means is I'm going to wait for a cheaper product.
yeah, and that's what it's going to mean for most people. That's what I don't understand. In a way, like anyone that was going to buy this, that had money was going to buy it regardless, right? But
Yeah.
you're kind of eliminating, I would
Like
think.
a large portion of your potential buyers.
Yeah.
So I can only imagine that the $600 price point has to be not just, oh, we bought this for $2 billion, but they're putting the wrong parts in it or some crap. And like, it's costing them like $400 to make this fucking thing, each unit or something. Cause otherwise,
So you think it's like they probably should have waited at least another year to really get this technology down before they
maybe, or at least like make like a shittier version of it.
It's like an early Steve Jobs move. You know,
Yeah.
from the movie Steve Jobs.
It actually
Steve Jobs.
It does bear some resemblance to that kind of Apple technology and
Yeah.
stuff like that.
Okay, so they're going to have to sell 4.2 million units at that price point to make a profit. Wait, no, it had to be more than that because of manufacturing costs.
Yeah.
Wow.
So just double that. Just say
And you got to
8
pay
million.
off. You got to pay off the Winklevoss
You had-
twins.
yeah, the
Well,
Winklevi.
If we're going off, with those numbers, you're right. It has to be that they're just trying to pay off the fucking two. Why did they buy it for so much?
Here's like my thing. Like, wait even 5 more years
It's unproven technology. Why would you
And-
spend billions of dollars on
and
it?
release.
Yeah,
Because the thing is that the Oculus. I'm sorry that this is we're talking about this so much. The thing is that the Oculus is just
Fuck it.
vision. You're just seeing, and that's cool. But the thing is that when you pair it with something like you've seen like maybe the game demos where they have hand attachments and your hands are interacting with the
That's
environment.
what Microsoft's doing.
And like that technology looked like shit when they showed it, but in a couple years it'll be amazing.
Which is why things like this need to be ancillary. Like they
Yes.
shouldn't cost twice what a console or
It should be opening
like-
a door, not building a house.
I
Yeah,
think that
yeah.
people are looking at
Yeah.
VR less visually. I would say people. I say developers.
Mm-hmm.
They're looking at this less of a visual aspect and more immersion. Is what
but it's
they're-
only it's a
What
part
I'm-
of immersion.
what I'm saying is like it's just to me it's just a glorified monitor, and yeah, it does absolutely immerse you in the experience more than a TV does.
You know what?
But I don't think it's going to be amazing until we have the hands.
Yeah,
they have
that's where the porn gets.
Until
Yeah.
people grow hands.
until we have hands.
the haptic vest and
Ooh,
stuff.
so you get like
They
shocks and jolts and
yeah,
stuff.
they
and
could.
actually shot.
Yeah.
If you start doing
A
shit,
real gun that comes out of the console and shoots you.
You, by God, you'll get good at first-person shooters. If you weren't
You guys are
before.
going to make fun of me. I still think one of the most fascinating and groundbreaking pieces of technology ever was actually on the original Nintendo, and that was Duck Hunt.
Yeah.
To this day, it's magic how pulling the trigger affects a very specific area on the screen of a
Yeah.
TV. I don't want anybody to explain it to me. It's fucking magic.
It's a
just
camera.
It's pretty cool that like we were there, 30 years ago.
for
Yeah.
Duck Hunt. Jared, do you want a root beer? Anybody want anything?
I would love one.
Okay.
Intermission. Mike and I will now perform
No.
a one-act play.
Somebody speak of number 4, and I'll be right back.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Thank God we need to
Do you
move on
want
from
it?
that.
Do you want me to take it?
You must.
Okay. Here's a news item. Neil Patrick Harris will play Count Olaf in the Netflix adaptation of A Series of Unfortunate Events. Discuss.
Danke.
Is that the Lemony Snicket thing?
Yes.
Yes, it is.
Which is one of my favorite pen names ever.
Yeah.
Lemony Sticket.
Never actually read the books myself, but
Nothing has sent.
Has
well,
anybody here read those books?
No.
I've read
haven't.
the first one.
I only saw the Jim Carrey movie.
Yeah,
and it was
that's,
shitty.
that's all I did, and that was because of a girl. I didn't want to.
I'm going to throw this at his face. Not yours. I'm looking at you, but
Lemony Snicket that rivals Benedict Cumberbatch for the most British sounding.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Lemony Snicket.
Yeah. His
Or-
actual, you will be so disappointed if you saw who like what his name is and what he actually looks like.
Harold Johnston.
No, his name is Daniel Handler.
Wait, so he's a Dan handler?
Damn it, Jared! I was right there, right there.
You got to get faster, man.
I was like swallowing root beer. I was like, Dan Handler.
Trust me,
ah.
I do quip warm-ups at the start of my day to make sure I'm ready at all times.
God, fuck off.
You got to it takes work to be this magical.
If it wasn't for all that quipping,
Yeah,
we
Cat.
wouldn't get snap into an engine.
No, we wouldn't. We
And
would,
this podcast would probably be like 30 minutes long instead of like 2.5 hours.
Yeah,
now.
well, this is like the spectacular.
Oh, we're only 40
top
minutes
10
in. We're
list
fine.
episode.
What
so
time is it, by the way?
time for you to get a watch?
2:20.
PM.
Okay, good.
Post meridian.
Hey, are you guys doing anything? Or are you guys going to work afterwards?
Yeah,
Unfortunately,
Brian.
I'm going to my mom's house.
Oh,
Yeah,
I'm gonna watch. I'm gonna watch football.
washing machine's fucked up. Oh, hey, what games are today?
Chiefs are playing the Patriots at 3:30.
Oh boy, that'll be interesting.
we have just thoroughly
I-
dated this episode.
I do the football team is playing the football team at 3:30.
Oh yeah, because any discussion of this broadcast unless without written
consent of the
from
NFL.
the NFL is strictly prohibited.
The Kansas City Engines are
Wait, is that a real thing? Or are we talking?
Oh, it's a
about
very real thing.
all
What?
sports it's ridiculous. I know that they had podcasts taken down from iTunes, independent podcasts. The NFL did,
Yeah.
but basically saying you can't talk about our licensed.
I bet
Properties,
they're.
yeah.
I don't think they're going to sift so down into us to get that stuff.
Who
you
knows?
mean up into us?
Well, what I mean is, we seem like a wide enough off genre.
What
We're
you
not a
mean is
sports
we're not
podcast.
important enough for the NFL to care.
I just mean we're not a sports podcast.
Hey,
Wait,
Robert Goodell is a huge fan of the Flick Freak podcast. This guy who runs NFL, FYI.
Yeah, thanks.
Roger Goodell.
so long as
Who?
we don't deflate our microphones.
Did I say Robert
That's a
Goodell
ter-
earlier? I meant
Did
Rod.
you? It's Roger.
Yeah, I thought, just in case, I want to make sure I said Roger.
I believe
All right,
what you
so
meant to
in
say was
PH
Roger Moore, commissioner of
He's an asshole.
the NFL.
Not Roger, like
from
Roger
the movie
Goodell.
For Folks.
All right, number 5. We did not talk about number 4 at all because I don't think any of us cared.
Well, I like NPH.
NPH is great, and
seems
Netflix
like a good
is
guy.
really good with all of their original content.
Small head. Neil Patrick Harris, the bottom of his head is small,
But his forehead's not.
but his forehead's big.
That's like,
I feel like he'd be a good addition to the podcast, though. Do you want to see if we can get him on as a guest?
I'll call him.
Yeah,
I'll send him a tweet.
shoot him a text.
I'll twit him.
DM
I
him
like
on
to think
Twitter.
that I would like to be around him,
Yeah.
just like in general.
Yeah.
Because you know how, like with a lot
Can
of
we get a hold of him and Mark Ruffalo?
like a lot of famous people, you're like, they seem like they'd be really cool.
Yeah.
And then like
He's
you'd
a magician who hates magicians.
you'd probably meet them, and then they'd be like super shitty, and you're like, well, that just ruined my whole life. But I feel like I just really, I want to think that I'd like him.
You're willing to take that risk.
Yeah, him and Jim Carrey. I think Jim Carrey.
James
my God.
Carey.
I want to live in a world where Jim Carrey would be really cool around me.
I don't know if he would.
It's this
though.
world. You're there.
It's this. You're there right now.
He's Canadian.
With the
You've
Oculus,
been to Canada.
with the
You can talk
Oculus
about
Rift, you can experience it firsthand.
that. Number 5. Jennifer Lawrence and Javier Bardem are both confirmed for Darren Aronofsky's newest film.
Yeah.
Who is
That's
Darren
my kind of
Aronofsky?
news.
He gave us
Wrestler?
Requiem for a Dream. He gave us Black Swan. He did the Noah movie. He also did Pi,
The Wrestler.
The Wrestler. The guy's brilliant.
I have seen 2 of those
His
movies, and
success
they're both
rate
very
is
good.
very high.
Only unperfect because of Noah.
Yeah,
Stupid Noah.
what the fuck was that?
That movie sucked.
A really big paycheck.
Yeah,
Probably.
Yeah. Anyway, yeah, 2 amazing actors.
Do
in
we
this
have any
movie.
other details about this?
From what I gather, this movie is about, and I don't know if these 2 characters are related or if they are the confronting antagonist protagonist. But what the movie is about is a couple's lives are turned upside down whenever one night they are visited by 2 strangers who fuck up their whole night.
Sounds awesome.
Javier Bardem would make. He's a super good antagonist.
Yeah. Does he have an air gun? Like a
Ugh.
Oh, like one of the cattle guns
Yeah.
from No Country for Old Men.
Friendo.
I don't trust him in any movie I ever see him
because
in.
of that.
Yes.
That's
He's
me too.
so
It could be-
eerie.
it could be beautiful. His
Yeah.
groundbreaking heroin.
I saw-
I don't trust.
No,
him.
when I was watching that movie, I was like, "You son of a bitch!"
Yeah,
for no
I saw
good
him.
reason.
I saw him in Eat, Pray, Love. I was like, "Run, Julia Roberts, get out of there!"
It's prey with an E.
He pulls out a quarter. That scene
What's
is
the most you've ever? It is the most tense scene
That-
in film history.
that-
especially
Oh my God.
involving a quarter.
Well,
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think is a more tense scene? And this is
Are
an
you going to
honest
say
question.
that or the basement scene in Inglourious Bastards? Because that was the other one that we always talk about.
I was going to
Not
talk
for
about
me.
the fucking Black Mass dinner scene.
Yeah, that was okay. That's up there. But for me, probably even more tense than all those scenes is from Boogie Nights. Whenever they're in
Oh, shit,
Alfred
yeah.
Molina's drugged den,
Yeah.
and what's playing in the background? Is it no? It's Sister Christian's playing in the background.
Yeah, because we've transitioned to the 80s by this point.
Yeah, that's still the most uncomfortable, tense scene for
That's
me.
a really good movie.
But the scene that's always brought up whenever somebody talks about a tense scene is what's the most you've ever lost on a coin toss?
Because it's super fucking tense. I was like, that guy's dead.
What about that one scene in the Master where Joaquin Phoenix can't blink?
Oh, and he just has to keep answering.
That's a really good scene.
I don't know if it's tense. It's just awkward.
I found it really tense. I also found that movie not very good.
I liked it. I did like it.
I know I'm in the minority on that one.
So another really tense scene is anything that involves camping.
Yeah, if you go camping and there's...
You knew it was coming, didn't you?
Yeah, I did.
Whenever you go camping, make sure you leave all cameras behind because there's a really good chance if you bring a camera, you'll end up in a found footage.
Oh, every scene in Funny Games?
Jesus Christ.
Fuck.
Yeah, that
Like
whole
all of
movie is
them?
just... Like, you showed...
Yeah, that was my fault.
Brian
You guys,
showed me that
were
movie,
ruined
and
by
I was clenched from my head to my anus the whole time.
Fun fact, if you didn't know this, which I think Brian knew this, that film is a shot-for-shot remake of the French film directed by the same guy.
director and
Yeah.
writer.
Same guy.
Like those
Brian,
shot for shot.
yeah.
Brian let me know that pretty early on. He didn't tell me what the movie was about at all.
No, I was just like, we're going to watch this movie.
And I had
called
the
Funny
worst
Games.
feeling through the first 20 minutes of it when nothing was
Well,
going
I just
on.
remember Dan sitting there, and I had divulged no information, and there was not really a good reason other than just the way it was shot, and he just out of nowhere was like, why do I feel like something terrible is going to happen?
What if Aronofsky's newest movie is a remake of Funny Games?
No.
Because think about it.
I
It's
was
the
thinking
exact
that
same
that
synopsis.
sounded very similar.
That's kind of what brought that to my mind.
Whenever I watched Funny Games for the first time and he picks up the remote, I got so fucking
I out
mad.
loud said "fuck you."
That's exactly. I said,
Like the
"Oh,
first time I
fuck
saw it, I was
you,
like, oh, fuck
fuck
you."
you."
But I mean, I stand by
Because we
that
just got our
directorial
one
decision.
victory of the entire film. We're like, yes,
Oh, that scene.
Yeah.
Oh, my God.
we got our first
My heart
victory.
fell into my
The
ass.
scene with the kid and the shotgun, and I was just like, "You fucking seriously?" Like I just was not.
I have not seen this movie, and I never want to. So
Oh god.
It is a brutal trek through really dark territory,
It is-
and you never get relief.
It's like The Passion. You don't want to buy that movie.
Yeah.
I own that movie.
I know you do.
The first time that I saw Funny Games, though, it was just like an impulse rental, and it was oh my god, and I was fucked up for like 3 days.
and you brought it to us.
Yeah.
Thank you.
And
It's
then
like
3 years
the-
later, I was like, "Hey, Jareth."
You're like the friend who goes out and buys a Ouija board, has a horrible experience, and then's like, "Hey guys, I've got this Ouija board."
I've got this board game.
All right.
And then we end up in a horror movie.
Yeah.
That's how it works. Guys, we just did the top 5 news. I think it's a good time to talk about the Flick Freak store.
let's.
Have
you
some
need-
disposable income? Well,
Yes.
guess what?
Don't
We
spend it
need
on
it.
an Oculus Rift. Spend it
Yeah.
on us getting Snap into an engine shirt.
God, I want that shirt so bad.
It's so racist, though.
It's
I don't
so-
know if we
If,
can do it.
if you haven't seen The Revenant or know who Macho Man Randy Savage is, you were going to think that's the most racist shirt. But I think it's worth the risk.
You might get slapped.
But yeah, you can head over to shop.spreadshirt.com/flickfreaks. We don't have any promos going on right now, but yeah, you can find t-shirts, coffee mugs, phone, tablet cases. We have it all. We don't just have t-shirts. We got a lot of stuff.
It should be mentioned we should spell that INJIN.
Yeah.
Just
Oh, definitely.
Yeah. Like, is that how it's spelled in Jurassic Park?
no EN.
Ian. INGEN?
I think it's
INGEN.
yeah. INGEN.
Yeah. Engine.
Oh, yeah.
It's the evil corporation.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so yep, that's their store. Guys, I think it's time to move on to the top 10 movies and video games of 2015.
I think we should start with Mike since he has the smallest list.
So you guys know we're not doing TV shows
No.
Yeah.
because we have coming up in March. Don't forget,
We do the bracket.
we have our March Madness TV
By
bracket.
the way, Andrew, you'll be. Oh man, I'm so much a better podcaster this year than last year. I already have a list made for that,
Okay.
and it is January.
Because if you
I
guys
have-
don't have the list, we already have 64 full TV shows.
Do I have to watch all of them?
No, because we're not the ones who vote on it.
Oh, good.
no,
We make a list.
We can make our preferences.
Okay,
known.
yeah, you can technically vote on it, but your vote isn't the only one that counts
I
because
will.
this goes on YouTube. I'm explaining this 2 months in advance.
Way in advance.
But it's going to be 64 heavy. I don't know if you ever filled out, a March Madness bracket.
Do I look like a man who's filled out a March
I
Madness
don't know.
bracket?
You look like a well-versed, traveled man who has done many things that would surprise many people.
You look like you look like a man who's visited platform 9 3/4 a couple of times.
I've been filled out by an entire March Madness bracket.
Woohoo! Okay, so the way it works,
Jared's an 8 seed.
it's like a bracket. So like 2 teams or 2 shows will go against each other, and then that will advance, while 2 other shows go against each other, and they'll advance, and then those shows until we get down from 64 to 1.
I'm going to do some ballot stuffing. I'll be goddamned if somebody votes for Bones.
They'll do it now
Bones will
just
not
because
make
of
it.
that
On six-
episode.
on the 64,
Yeah.
Bones did not make it.
Good.
I tell you this. You know how
What
we
a
were
surprise.
Okay, you want to hear something crazy? So last year we had trouble making 32.
Yeah.
We have 64, and I was having trouble fitting shows in that were
Thanks,
that good.
Netflix.
I just gave
Yeah.
when you said that Bones didn't make it, I gave the microphone a significant look. Just like, you guys get that?
You guys,
I just didn't even think about it for like 3 more seconds.
it's not a video podcast yet. We'll get there.
A few hundred people just felt a strange tingling in their loins, though.
I was like, you guys know.
All right,
Bones.
so enough talk about something that's going to happen 2 months from now. One last thing I'll mention. You're not voting on the shows as a whole. You're voting on the last completed season.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So
So I think we should start with Mike since he has the smallest, then move to me.
did
Yeah.
you by chance find a 10th movie?
No.
Okay. So we're all doing, besides Mike, a top 10 movies of 2015. Mike's doing top 9 because he only saw 9 movies.
Yeah, sure. I was gonna just do top 3 to give myself some mystique, so that I didn't have to.
That's what I would say.
We have
bottom out.
blown
So you
up
don't-
your mystique now.
Your mystique.
So I've combed all of the movies that came out in 2015 and
Now
was
they look
very
beautiful.
disappointed because, dude, there's a ton of movies I really wish I had seen. Alas,
Do you want to look at my list real quick? I have over 60 movies just to make sure you didn't forget anything.
I mean I looked through Wikipedia. I looked through all the
Yeah,
independent
everything
movies.
released
Like
Like, did you see Chappie?
no, I did not see that movie.
Okay.
So just to be
That's
clear,
probably for the best.
the order
I
will
thought
be
everybody saw Chappie. It just turned out to be a shitty movie.
the order will be Mike, myself, Brian, and then Andrew in ascending order of number of movies seen this
All
year.
right. Thanks, Castro.
Jesus.
I am in charge.
Actually, the shirt.
Okay.
I didn't even factor that part in, but that's a total.
That is actually.
What? I don't. Huh?
It's like a
Dictatorship.
Yeah.
Like you're...
It's green.
Fuck it. Okay, Michael.
Yeah. So I'm going to start number 4. I'm going to start number 4 is what's going to
Okay,
happen.
sure. It's a good shirt.
Fight me, Andrew. Fight me. I'm starting at number 4. He just looks really confused.
Bring it.
Number 4 for me is Mad Max: Fury Road. A movie that I knew I would like, but didn't think I would like quite that much.
Tom Hardy.
Yes.
Once again.
I went
Tom
into it
Hardy.
with the wrong expectation because I thought it was Mad Max Furry Road.
Oh, yeah. You thought it was about a bunch of furries fucking each other
On the road.
on the road?
I thought it was a sequel to Alvin and the Chipmunks, and it was also
Road Chip, Furry Road.
Yeah.
But like a really dark, gritty, post-apocalyptic Alvin
Yeah.
and the Chipmunks.
This is like a rated R Mario Kart. This is what this movie
That's
is.
a really
Yes.
good description.
It is.
Now I just wish there was one turtle shell in the whole movie. Just,
There's actually a video online. Somebody edited Mad Max Fury Road to be Mario Kart. Have you guys
Yeah.
seen it yet?
No, I have not.
When this is over, you're going to have to watch it. It's
Starring
pretty good.
Charlize Theron and Toad Hardy.
Hello!
My brain's inside a mushroom.
You have Wario.
Wario would be raping and pillaging.
Yeah.
As he does in all.
He would
Wario
be-
would be Immortal Joe.
We're doing a really good job of completely hijacking Mike's list.
I don't fucking care.
Well,
I
it's
have-
because he started at number 4 like an asshole.
yeah, I have 3 things left. Number 3 is The Revenant.
Yes.
Because that was an outstanding movie that if
also
you
had Tom Hardy in it.
without assistance from the Oculus Rift, it will make you feel like you survived a blizzard on a mountain
Yeah.
by the end of it.
I was tired.
Yeah,
afterwards.
I know. I was like, man,
It was also like 3.5 hours long.
It was 2.5 or 2:45.
It's like I wanted to curl up in a fur blanket and drink some hot cocoa.
Just
and
like DiCaprio, besides the...
be
I
sad.
weirdly
Besides
felt like
the
I
cocoa.
wanted to crawl inside a horse.
Yeah.
I hear they smell worse on the inside.
Good tauntaun pull.
My number 2 is kind of a technicality. So What We Do in the Shadows technically came out in other parts of the world in 2014. But it was officially released in the United States in March or February and then March. So I saw it in March. And I mean, that's one of my favorite movies ever.
Yeah.
Like that was
so
a
funny.
phenomenal movie. And I'm really excited for the sequel.
Yeah.
And then
that's
The Swearwolf sequel.
yes, I could.
We're werewolves, not swearwolves.
I think I've seen that movie like
Darby.
3 or 4 times, and every time
It's not enough.
I find something else that's funny that I didn't notice before. Everyone is just on their A game in that. And
It
then
should be noted, Andrew and I cannot use that movie because we did use it last year.
For our 2014 list.
With those guys, like I'm down with anything,
Anything they do.
yeah,
they
Taika
make.
Waititi, Jermaine.
They've
all
got
those
my
guys.
money.
yeah,
By the way, Taika Waititi, he's going to be directing the new Thor Ragnarok movie.
yeah. I
For
heard that.
really
I remember
real?
us talking about that, I think,
Yeah.
on this
Wait,
very
like
podcast.
no bullshit.
No bullshit.
he is
yeah, no
doing that.
bullshit. He's directing Thor Ragnarok.
That is exciting.
Therefore, meaning that I will actually see that movie.
Yeah.
I was not going to, but now
Yeah.
I will.
Number 1 is, you guessed it, Star Wars.
Yeah.
Starring Tom Hardy.
I'm real curious as to who else has Star Wars as number 1 on theirs.
Technically,
We're
it does,
not going to say, though,
No.
where it is on our list. until
technically
we get
Daniel
there.
Craig's in Star Wars.
Yeah, he is.
He sure is.
I'm gonna draw my blast.
I don't need to gush over Star Wars. You guys know why I like it, and we all like it for more or less the same reasons. So
I think whenever we reviewed that on our podcast, we reviewed it for 35 minutes.
I was not present for that one because I hadn't seen it yet, and I didn't. But
That's why
after,
that's the sole reason why you didn't come.
Yeah, and after I saw it, though, I listened to the podcast you guys did, and I really enjoyed listening to that. Like, just listening to you guys talk about what you liked without me in the way cluttering it up with complaints.
If you search for that podcast on iTunes, which if you're not subscribed on iTunes, you should probably do that.
Yeah, subscribe to us on iTunes.
We have the the synopsis, let you know what the episode's going to be about.
Yeah.
That entire episode synopsis, it just says Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars, Star Wars.
Yeah,
Star
that's
Wars,
what it
Star
said.
Wars,
I have
Star Wars.
Podcast
And then at
Addict,
the very
and
end,
that's what
it
it
just
said
says
on the-
Konami. Because we
Yeah,
talked about how
we
Konami
did.
was being an asshole that
Yeah.
episode.
that's all I remember from talking about in that episode.
Honestly, we've had a lot of episodes that involve in some way or another Star Wars and Konami being an asshole.
Yeah. Okay, so you want to go back to number 9 and then work your way to 5?
Nope.
Okay.
Jarrett's
I like that.
turn.
Just keep it. Since you saw a lower amount of movies, just keep it to stuff you feel real good about.
That's exactly why I did that.
Yeah,
I
I
feel
like
very
that. I
strongly
like that
about those
approach.
ones.
Shit's about to get real because Jareth is standing up.
Ooh,
No,
we've
it's-
never seen this before.
My ass is asleep.
Oh, I'm sorry, is a chair kind of...
No, it's fine.
Okay.
You insulting Andrew's chairs? Are you
Yeah.
insulting his
Is it
hospitality?
good enough for
chair.
you?
Well, it doesn't have a back cushion. I can imagine why it wouldn't be comfortable, so...
So I'm just standing up to kind of get some blood flowing to my various bits and bobs again.
Bits and bobs.
Cool.
Do you mean like through your
Now-
veins, which are in your body, like bones? Wow. Okay.
Bad Bones pull. Boo.
Jareth.
That was almost as bad as Bones the show. So, are you starting at number 10?
Almost.
I'm going to start at number 10 and move in ascending order.
Ascending.
10 is the boneliest number.
Fucking damn it.
All right, so number 10 is
What did
actually
you write on?
Yeah, what is that?
say
Is
it's
that
the
do not disturb like you'd find at a hotel?
no, it's the back of
Where have you been?
it's the back like thing that a beer koozie came on. I got a R2D2 beer koozie for Christmas.
Do you have like say like I don't know, just normal paper? That,
I found
All
some for my
kinds.
game list.
okay.
We have
I didn't find any for this list.
we have like 3 notebooks in the house. Just saying.
Yeah, they were all in your room at the time, and it was night.
They're on the shelf.
Eat a dick. Go on. All right. So number 10 is actually Ant-Man.
Okay.
Ant-Man.
Ant-Man. John Ant-Man. Because I actually kind of enjoyed that movie.
I did not ever see it.
That's fair. Number 9 is Kingsman.
I really liked Kingsman.
It was
That
really
fun.
fucking good.
I had a completely incorrect.
I did too.
I was like, this is going to be like the King's Speech or something, and then nope.
Was not.
No, that was as somebody who really does like 60s spy movies, that was fun
It was a lot of fun. It
and
was-
really gory.
yeah.
Yep.
So number 8 was Black Mass. It's a fantastic movie, super fucking crazy.
Be careful when Googling that, though.
Make sure you capitalize the M, just so that you know it's there. Number 7 was Mad Max Furry Road. Number 6 was Mad Max Fury Road. No, number 7 is Mad Max Fury Road. Number 6 was Age of Ultron. 5 is Jurassic World. 4 is What We Do in the Shadows, and that was a struggle because I was gonna it was either that or The Revenant at 4, and they were gonna be in
And the
those
other
two
one at
positions,
3.
but I ended up putting The Revenant at 3
Wow.
because it's just a shockingly beautiful movie, even whenever you're looking at really horrible shit.
God, that was what really stood out to me about it. Yeah.
The only problem I had with the movie, and apparently no one else had this problem, like the score was beautiful.
Yeah.
I loved the music. I hated the way it was implemented because it just kept swelling up so loud.
Yeah, it didn't really bother me.
No, it wasn't like, what was that, Matt? Why do I always brain fart? Interstellar. That movie was loud as fuck.
Yeah,
I don't know
that
if that was. Did you guys experience that as well?
I had the opposite problem. Interstellar I was fine with. This one, like every time they just go, "Bwah," and then they'd go back down and do it again like 18 more times, and it really started killing me on because they'd be like showing these magical panoramas, and then they'd just do that over and over, and I just got real tired of that.
You could have almost had The Revenant with no soundtrack.
Yeah, I would have
would've
been
been fine.
100% cool with like almost like just ambient sound the whole time.
I love that now that you're reading your list, which is 10 things long, no one's interrupting.
Well, yeah, we said that we're interrupting you because
You're starting it.
There was a group message that we were all privy to. We're like, we're gonna fuck Mike's shit up.
Also, I interrupt my own. So. Number 2 is The Martian, because that movie was just fucking phenomenal. Not really
That was
a comedy.
a different movie
but-
than I thought it was gonna be as well. Kind of. It was like a pretty light survival movie.
Yeah.
You know, like The Revenant. Really lighthearted.
Yeah.
Yeah, real just fun.
Yeah.
Just a good time.
I definitely would not call it a comedy, though. Super good movie. Very hopeful. Made me feel good about, like, the human race. So I was like, yeah, not very often do I walk away from anything being like, maybe
is
we can
true.
be saved.
You have a bitter, sour, old blackened soul. So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Normally I'm
That's
like,
part
we
of your
should just
charm.
kill those guys. We get to the end of the movie Armageddon and I'm like, they should have just let it hit us. And number 1 is Star Wars.
Yeah.
Because fucking Star Wars, guys.
Yep.
Any other year, it would have been a toss-up, but
Yep.
Like, I wish I could say that it wasn't such a huge ass gap between 1 and 2, but like, if I was to make this list with no rules, like 1 through 5 would be Star Wars, and then the rest would be everything.
The rest would be different incarnations of Mad Max,
Furry Road,
Furry Road, Fury Road, Curry Road, which
Curry
is,
Road, the Bollywood version.
Yeah.
Jesus, fuck.
Well, sorry about that, everyone.
Sorry, not sorry.
No, we're not sorry about any of this.
Did we say it's
down.
Brian's turn
Hold
now?
on, I'm going to loudly open my paper.
Ooh,
That's good. Whop.
there's like a shockwave out of that.
Okay. I'm not going to get into my honorable mentions because we don't have time for that.
No,
But I will make that happen with the written word. And now I present to you my list that will be like no one's list. Maybe. I don't know. I don't know what Andrew's going to do. That's enough preamble.
Yeah, thank you for that eloquent preamble.
At number 10, I have a movie called The Final Girls.
Oh, yeah, that's
Did you
one of the
see
movies
that?
I really wanted to see.
Okay, well, it's fantastic. And in general, it's about a high school-aged girl whose mother dies in a car accident, and she ends up reconnecting with her mother in a weird scenario where she's implemented into an 80s slasher movie that her mother was the star of. And they have to find a way, her and her friends have to find a way to, like, escape that, like, that world that they've kind of gotten thrown into. It's a really interesting movie that gets weirdly introspective and kind of emotional in mothery-daughtery ways.
Don't
And
they
I
have
really
to, like,
liked it.
So
we
that-
know the tropes of a horror film, so we just have to
Yeah, we have
avoid
to
those.
navigate those.
Yeah.
And it's also pretty funny.
So it sounds like it gets it gets rightfully lumped into the same camp with like Cabin in the Woods.
Cabin in the Woods
and
would
Tucker and
be
Dale.
and Tucker and Dale. More Cabin in the Woods.
God, I
Like,
love
really-
Tucker and Dale
like
so much.
really
And
meta,
Cabin in the Woods.
meta horror
Okay.
kind of thing. It's not scary at all, but it's a really cool movie. Number 9, I have the German film Phoenix, which I watched last week, and it has like a little bit of a noir vibe going on. It takes place just after World War II. Our main character is a Holocaust survivor who needs severe reconstructive surgery, and her whole family's dead, and she's trying to find her husband. She does, and he has no idea who she is, so she doesn't tell him. And from that point forward is where it becomes a little bit Hitchcockian in nature.
Okay.
Anyway, it was a really good movie. Number 8 is the movie Room, which I know Andrew saw, which
Fuck that.
is
Jesus.
a mother and son held captive by a creep who basically abducts the mother when she was 17.
Yeah.
Is that what? And he's awful, but he gets her pregnant and allows her to keep the kid.
By the way, they live in his shed out back.
They live in a shed,
a
that
10
they
by
cannot-
10 shed.
that he is like escape proofed.
Yeah.
And it made me feel stuff.
Because the kid, he doesn't know there's an outside world.
He has no
thinks,
idea.
He thinks the world is that room. And whenever
And anything he sees on TV it's all made up. Like
Yeah,
there
it's-
are no dogs. That's
Yeah.
a made up
Dogs
thing.
are
Like,
fake,
this is a
trees are fake.
construct that his mother's come up with,
grass is fake.
basically to not break his heart.
Yeah.
So it's
Wow.
it's really good.
Yeah. That was
And that's
one
Brie Larson,
depressing.
and that is my should win best lead
She'll
actress.
win. She'll win.
She has to.
She will win. But yeah, that movie, it hits you in the feels, that's for sure.
Yeah, it was hard to watch at times. At number 7, I have It Follows, if anyone saw that, which is another horror movie this one's actually very tense for like an hour and a half straight, and has a lot of really strange kind of underlying stuff in it that a lot of horror films. It's kind of there's a little bit of 80s nostalgia. There's also a lot to say. It's kind of a coming of age story as well. And
In a horror movie?
yeah, and a lot of like themes of sexuality and
Well, those are normal in horror movies.
yeah, but like well developed ones, not just like, oh, my shirt fell off and here's some syrup. Because
that's how everyone's introduced to sex.
that's how it went for me.
Gotta love them maple
Yeah,
titties.
maple tits. Now with virtual reality. At number 6, I have The Revenant, which we've talked about.
We have.
Number 6.
Number
Interesting.
6. Number 6.
Wow.
It was an excellent movie, but I think that about everything that I'm talking about right now.
It is your top 10.
And also, The Revenant, we talked about this when we talked about it. That makes sense.
Yeah.
But it's just not an enjoyable movie.
No.
So on a list of my favorite movies,
I think
of the
you should
year,
reword that to where
that
it's not
docks
a
it.
fun.
It's not entertaining.
No, it's
Oh,
not.
it's entertaining. I don't think it's a happy. movie.
I found it immersive. I found it engaging, but I wasn't sitting there like, yeah, this is fucking great.
No, you don't
in a
walk out of
fun
that movie
sense.
with a smile.
No, it's like Yeah, it's different.
From credits
it's
to credits,
something you
fuck.
take in.
Yes.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
At number 5, I have Sicario, which I thought was excellent. It's and it doesn't sound like something I would like. It's kind of a
No, I would have pegged that as something you'd hate.
yeah.
Actually,
It's like near future. We're realizing we're really fucked on the war on drugs, like we are, and the main character played by Emily Blunt gets recruited into a task force to help take down a cartel that has killed some of her fellow officers. Now, this is directed by, it's a French name, Denis. I'm going to say it like a guy from Missouri. Denis Villeneuve. That's not right at all. It's probably like Denis Villeneuve.
No, it's Villeneuve.
Villeneuve.
It's Villeneuve.
I bet the V is silent.
Villeneuve.
On the end, yeah. But anyway, he is fantastic. He did Prisoners.
Yeah.
He did the really bizarre movie Enemy, if anybody has seen that.
That's Gyllenhaal.
Yeah. 2 Gyllenhaal.
2 Gyllenhaals.
So
Gyllenhaal to Gyllenhaal.
The
Gyllenhaal
score-
with 2 Gyllenhaal.
the score is great. He wrings tension out of every scene. It's the acting is across the board great, including Josh Brolin as just the worst. And Benicio,
I think Benicio del Toro really stole that movie.
Oh, he was great. It was such a good all-around cast and such a different approach to material like this. Like, this is not like any drug trade movie. It wasn't Traffic. Like, it was so much less straightforward and morally ambiguous. Like,
There's more conspiracy in this one.
yeah, and I mean, there's not a clear line of what you're supposed to think. You're not supposed to sit here and be like, these pieces of shit, we need to stop them, or like, you know, the government's corrupt. It's all just like presenting you people and things that happen without taking a big high stance. And I thought that was great.
I think the way it was going is like, this is how it is. You don't like it, suck a dick.
Yeah, like
That's kind of the attitude the movie had about the war on drugs.
This is our world. If you want to concretely say there are good guys and bad guys, fine, but there aren't.
Yeah.
You know, that's except for John Wayne Gacy.
He was
makes
a really good guy.
Who makes an appearance late in the... No.
Surprise!
Sicario 2, Gacier. At number 4, I have Spotlight, which was... it's about the uncovering of the Catholic priest child molestation in Boston. About 10 years ago?
And then eventually the world.
And eventually the world, but like 10 15 years ago.
It was 2003, so it was like 12 years ago.
Right in between those two numbers, I said?
2003 was when the story was released on the Boston Globe.
Okay.
So, but it's leading up like years like of research. So
great ensemble cast, and it's about that, and it's maddening to watch so much stuff that literally did get covered up and swept under the rug.
Yeah.
It's really well paced, and it's like a really breezy thing to watch because it's just like guys investigating, guys and gals. Mark Ruffalo's in it also. Michael Keaton. These are really likable people, guys. Number 3, I have The Big Short, which was about the financial crisis of 2008. And
you love them crises movies.
Yeah, I'm all about crisis. And the people who were able to predict it. And sounds boring, isn't. Really funny, really insightful. It has a certain acerbic wit about it.
That sounds right up your alley, then.
Well, I like acerbic wit.
Adam McKay, the guy who directed like Step Brothers and all those Seth Rogen movies, you know,
somehow does this and does it really well. And the way they go about explaining financial concepts is great, because instead of having like a character just overcomplicate things and be like, you know, like talking to another expert, you know, like what happens with this. They basically say, look, you guys are easily distracted by stuff, so here's Margot Robbie in a bathtub to tell you what this is.
Yeah.
Like, it just has
and then you
asides.
see Margot Robbie in a bathtub. She's like, so this is how it works. And then she'll like dumb it down for you. And you're like, I get it now.
I actually recall that from your review of it.
Yes, I did a
very
written
good review
of this also.
So that's number 3.
Number 2, I have Ex Machina, which I thought was really great.
Really?
Yeah. It was like a harder sci-fi with very little action. It was one of the best acted movies I saw of the year.
Yeah.
And it had a really haunting feel to it the whole time. And I felt the point of the movie is Domhnall Gleeson's character.
Donal.
Yeah, is that what it was? I
Donal.
don't remember what we decided on.
Donal. The M and the H are silent.
Donnie Gleeson
Donnie.
and Alicia Vikander.
Yes.
They ostensibly play the leads. Oscar Isaac's also great. In
Yeah.
this movie.
Oscar Isaac's
Great
fantastic.
beard.
Such a great beard.
Blew my mind when I found out.
I actually
he was in
felt
Star Wars too.
like I want them to love each other and escape.
Yeah.
And that's how he felt, despite being a highly intelligent person.
That ending, though.
And yeah, so I thought it was. I think I'm probably higher on this movie than literally anyone in the world, but I don't care. I don't care.
A lot of people have it as their number one. You're not alone.
Good. Who
It
are
got
they?
bumped off number 10 for me.
I should hang out. It couldn't compete with Ant-Man for Jareth, but I'm.
Yeah. I actually didn't care for it all that much.
I really liked it.
It had a lot of really fantastic parts that I just couldn't get behind the way it was connected.
Number one.
Number one, and I'm. This won't be surprising because it's me. Is The Hateful Eight because
Yeah.
I love Quentin Tarantino. I love talky, weird plots.
Eightful Hate.
The Hateful Hate. Yeah. So yeah, that's my list for the year 2015.
Nice.
It took me 45 minutes to talk about.
Star Wars did not make your top 10.
Star Wars. Star Wars, which I found to be a good movie. And
Yeah.
Blasphemy.
No, I think that makes sense.
No.
It's a good movie, but I'm, the way, and I wrote about this as well, but I've seen the same thing before. It was just done really well.
Yeah.
Which there's a place for that, and I really had fun watching it. But it didn't blow me away in the way that a lot of other films did, because it's well-worn territory. So I mean that's how I watch movies or consume media, So that's going to be a little different. Ormsby, do it.
Top 10 list. Starting at number 10, Straight Outta Compton.
Straight out of Compton, like
Love-
Ormsby himself.
Yes. I am a surprise member of the NWA. Did not know if you knew this.
Surprise member.
About me. Yes.
Nordics
Special
with
guest.
attitudes.
Nordics with attitude.
God.
Okay, can we make that shirt
That's a
too?
shirt.
With
Yes.
your face on it?
Nordics with attitude. So we have Snap Into an Engine and Nordics with attitude.
These are all very racial,
Yeah, definitely colored a certain way, that's for sure.
unlike the Oscars,
If you'll allow the
which
pun.
is colored one way.
Oh!
bringing
Not very
it-
colored, actually.
White with a penis.
We were going
There's
down
another shirt, white with a penis.
ha lane, and then Brian took it right on top.
We
of
should
it.
make that one only like lady cut. White with a penis is only like a lady shirt.
I love it. Number 9, Mad Max Fury Road.
Yeah.
Such a good.
Where
movie.
does Furry Road? Are we about
Furry
to...
Road?
Do you have that at number
Well,
one?
you know what? I'm only to number 8 right
You're
now.
right, I'm
so
sorry.
Calm down. Number 7, Steve Jobs.
Which I really
Not
liked.
to be confused with Hand Jobs.
I
the
really
movie.
liked that movie and did not expect to. And Fassbender, guys. Fassbender.
He's really good. I didn't expect it to be as good for the simple fact that Brian knows this. We were covering the production of this movie for so
a
long.
long time ago.
And shit was falling apart all the time. They went through 3 directors, 4 different actors to play Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
I think the only thing that was like set in stone was that Aaron Sorkin was going to write the script.
Which is another big part of why it worked so well.
Yeah,
Because
like, as a
it's
genius.
another movie that should be boring and is not at all.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And if you hate Steve Jobs, you're going to love this movie.
I do hate
Oh,
Steve
good.
Jobs.
I do.
Yeah.
What an asshole.
Especially in this movie.
And I hate Apple.
Number
Yep,
6,
Me too.
The Martian.
Yep.
The most unfunny comedy ever?
Yeah,
if you have to
it's-
call it a comedy now.
Or
yeah.
a very well-humored drama.
Yeah, or an incredibly well-humored drama.
Could be a, in the traditional sense, it's a comedy.
Yeah, according to the Golden Globes.
Okay.
Actually, so Ridley Scott, they won at the Golden Globes for The Martian. And Ridley Scott got up there, he's like, Best Picture, all right, comedy. That's exactly what he said.
And then Ridley Scott did his stand-up act.
Yeah,
which he's well known for.
He was up there for a very long time giving that speech. They were playing the music. He's like, "Turn the music off. I'm not stopping." And yeah, he talked for a while.
Wow.
Number
The Riddler.
5, Spotlight. It's a good movie, Brian.
Yeah, we had that almost in the exact same spot.
It's really fucking good.
Yeah, I think we both talked about this, like movies with journalistic pursuits like that, where they're trying to get to the bottom of stuff and they're working together as a team.
I think you and
you
I
feel
like
you're part of the team.
I think you and I like movies where you're not allowed to look away for a second. You have to
Yeah.
be fully invested.
Oh yeah, I
because
don't want to.
you
be...
felt like you've accomplished something watching and understanding that movie.
I would like to watch movies where it's better if I pee my pants than go to the bathroom.
Yeah.
That's just every movie. You just need to do it better.
That's just
Number 4, Creed. Besides the original Rocky, it's the greatest boxing movie ever made. Better than Raging Bull. Sylvester Stallone gives his best performance.
Better than some of the Rockies, for sure.
No,
The earlier Rockies. Creed was, I thought.
I think that it's the second best out of all of them. Even like Ivan Drago or Mr. T or
Those have a lot of nostalgia value.
I must break you.
go for it.
A shocking lack of Carl Weathers flashbacks, unfortunately.
They're there.
No, but like modern day, like it wouldn't have made sense to do it. They put him in a muscle suit.
He's pretty fat now.
Are you guys going to eat that?
Oh, his character from Arrested Development, where
Which
he
is
just eats
my favorite-
all their
My
food.
favorite thing. You know, if you keep that around, you can use that.
And if it gets old, just turn it into a soup. Carl Weathers was great. But I really do honestly think this is Sylvester Stallone's best performance. And despite what Brian says, I do think that he will win for best
It
supporting
was
actor.
Sylvester Stallone's. He will win. I think he will win. I wouldn't vote for him. But surprisingly, I don't have a vote. So
I thought you were going to vote for Tom Hardy.
It was
Oh,
Sylvester
that's what I'm
Stallone's
saying, yeah.
performance.
Oh, you don't have it. Like, and
I don't
you're
have-
not a member of the.
I'm not a member of the
of
Academy.
the Hollywood Foreign Press.
Yeah, not yet.
Not yet.
We're working on it.
Number 3, The Big Short. I think you had it at number 3 as
Number
well.
3
dude.
also.
No,
Yeah,
it's
Wow.
a really fucking good movie.
it is not about Martin Short or Danny DeVito.
Yes.
That's a tragedy.
Number 2, The Revenant.
Yep.
It's a really fucking good
Revenant.
movie. And actually, I'm going to give honorable mentions real quick.
Okay.
I'm just going to run through them. Numbers 10 through 11. Jurassic World.
10 through 11.
Well, yeah, because I did my top 10, so now honorable mentions, or 20 through 11.
Yeah,
Apologies.
that's what I thought you meant. I was like, I'm going to give honorable mentions, and it's going to be 1.
Yeah. 20 through 11. So number 20, Jurassic World, Kingsman: The Secret Service, Mr. Holmes, Trumbo, Everest, which is shockingly a very good
Yeah,
movie.
it was solid.
Like, I think I cried harder
we-
in Everest than any other movie.
Can we
Best
just
supporting
coin the
actor
term
nomination.
shockling? Because I like that sound of that.
Best supporting actor nomination for The Mountain.
Yeah. Dude, The Mountain was great in that movie. Number 15, Me and Earl and the Dying Girl, Beast of No Nation, The 33, Brooklyn, and The Hateful Eight. The only reason why I did that is because I wanted you to know that.
I think I know what
The
your
Hateful
one
Eight
is
wasn't that
now.
high up. It was number 11.
Yeah, I figured that would be in your range.
And number 1, The Force Awakens.
Oh yeah.
Yes!
It's so fucking good.
I'm such the contrarian.
Oh.
Where
Well-
did I have
Oh,
Ex
dear.
Machina on my list?
I needed you to say that so that I didn't feel like such a popcorn eater.
No. Number 25 was Ex Machina. That's where I put mine.
Right around the midpoint.
And number 24 was Kung Fury.
Kung Fury. I've got some honorable mentions, just I'm going to just toss out
Fucking do it.
there right now.
Toss them out.
I'm literally going... Carol. I thought Carol was really emotional.
Still haven't seen it.
The Gift.
Yeah.
Z for Zachariah.
Isn't that the Joel Edgerton?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
shockingly better than it deserved to be.
The romantic comedy Sleeping with Other People, which was really good for an hour and 20 minutes.
Who
Was it an hour and 20 minutes long?
No.
Is
it
that
was
the
like
one
an
where they
hour
get
and 30
snowed?
minutes
Is that the
long.
one where they get snowed in after a one night stand?
No. It's got Allison Brie and Jason Sudeikis, and that's the main part of it.
Oh.
Never even heard of it.
Anyway, it's really legit for a long amount of time, and then the obligatory we need to make $1 off this ending. And then these are honorable mentions, not necessarily in order, just things I wanted to say so that maybe people would see them.
Okay.
Right. So, Z for Zachariah, which is post-apocalyptic. There's some people, just a couple of them. She would tell Ejiofor in this movie. And also, just because I'd like to cite this as how you make a fucking action movie, Mission Impossible Rogue Nation, which was really fun to watch and way better than the pretty terrible Spectre.
Huh.
Yeah, that's what I
Interesting.
have.
Really
to say
interesting
about
that we have not talked about Spectre at all. I don't think.
I don't
Everything
know
I've heard about Spectre so far has been pretty bad.
Yeah.
It was kind of a mess. I don't know. I mean, and it had Christoph Waltz as a villain and still failed.
Yeah, that sounds like you're on track right there.
Yeah. He's a great mustache twirler.
So I know
having one.
I know that I know that we are on kind of a time limit. Jareth has to get out of here in a minute.
Yeah.
About 40 minutes.
Should we?
40?
I thought you worked at 4.
I do?
It's 3:12.
I do.
Oh, like 30 minutes.
Okay. Yeah. So I say we move on to a section that Brian will have absolutely nothing to contribute to.
Yes. I will
got,
just sit around and...
Move on to trailer talk and then save games for next week.
Yeah,
That's
actually,
good.
that's
Games
a better
should
idea.
get its own thing.
I
That's
don't
a
know.
better idea.
I could burn through my 10 list and
I'd rather talk about them.
Oh, well, fine.
I don't want to. I know you got to get out of here. I don't want to keep you any longer than you have to.
Fine.
I'm trying to do you a favor.
Fine.
God.
So, are we good with that?
Yeah.
Save games for next week. Sorry, guys. All right.
I forgot we had trailer talk next.
Yeah, so that's why. So, trailer talk. First movie up, Elvis and Nixon. Directed by Lisa Johnson. She gave us Hate Ship, Love Ship, and Return. Written by Joey Segal, who is Katie Segal's brother.
That's not what I was hoping for.
Yeah. This is
I
his
was
writing
hoping for
debut.
Steven.
No, that's spelled differently.
His whole family's tied up with the Dalai Lama right now.
Hey, you can take that to the bank.
Um,
The blood bank.
Is that a Steven Seagal
that is a
movie?
Steven Seagal one-liner.
Yes,
No, that should be a movie.
it is.
Like,
isn't it?
Welcome to
It's
the
a
Blood
line
Bank.
in one.
Yeah.
Oh,
The movie stars Michael Shannon, Kevin Spacey, Colin Hanks, and Alex Pettyfer.
it's a great cast.
Yeah, it is.
Yeah. This movie is given to us by Amazon.
Weird.
Yeah.
They've given me a lot of things over the years, usually after I pay for them.
Yeah. The plot of this true story of Elvis Presley trying to become a U.S. federal agent under President Nixon. And as Jareth pointed out, they did make a Drunk History episode about this. Now we're getting a full-fledged movie.
It was a great episode of Drunk History, too.
Yeah, Jack Black played Elvis. It was really funny.
Michael Shannon as Elvis. That's an inspired cast.
I love it.
Yeah, Kevin Spacey is Nixon.
Yeah. I don't know. It seems far-fetched for Kevin Spacey to play a president.
Who played Nixon in Frost Nixon?
Frank,
He killed it, whoever.
yeah, he was really in the awards shows every year. For
Yeah.
a little bit there, it felt like, for various roles. And then he did The Box with Cameron Diaz.
Yeah, that'll do it. So, yeah, interesting looking movie. Fun, historical film. Looks like it's going to be like one of those, how do we never know about this?
Yeah.
Rock-esque comedy sort of thing.
Frank Langella.
Thank you. Number 2, High Rise. Directed by Ben Wheatley, who gave us 2 episodes of Doctor Who, Sightseers, and Kill List. This is written by Amy Jump. She gave us also Sightseers and Kill List. The movie stars Tom Hiddleston, Jeremy Irons, Luke Evans, and Sienna Miller. The plot is the tenants of a high-rise tower lives begin to turn strange and dangerous.
I gotta say, this has gotta be one of the better just trailers that I've seen.
Yeah,
because
because you don't know anything about it, and it's interesting.
Talk
fucking
about a
clue.
teaser.
I have no idea what it's about, but that's about all the information I feel like you really need from a trailer right there.
It looks like it's going to give me a kind of an insightful old school sci-fi look at things. Like updated, obviously, but like something Heinlein would have written.
Yeah.
The movie, or the trailer anyway, kind of had that Nicholas Winding Refn. I don't know if it was the music in it that kind of gave it that vibe.
Yeah.
But I was all about it. I think it looks great.
So Loki's back to Asgard.
Loki is back. That's actually where it takes place. This is actually in Asgard.
They're building high rises and
Yes.
charging a lot.
You could see the Rainbow Bridge if you
Yeah.
freeze frame it at
Called
minute
Bifrost,
and
bro.
you could see the Rainbow Road from Mad Max Rainbow Road.
Which is also, that's how Mario and friends
Yeah.
got there.
Yeah.
All right. It's, trailer number 3, Daredevil Season 2.
Daredevil.
Daredevil.
Daredevil Season 2.
Yes, I forgot all about that. Sorry.
Daredevil Season 2.
This is also a continuation given to us by Drew Goddard. He gave us The Martian, World War Z, Cloverfield, Cabin in the Woods, and many a plethora of other great things.
And Daredevil Season 1.
Daredevil Season 1. Well, that's what I kind of meant by a continuation from Drew Goddard. I guess I could have worded that better.
Yeah,
When
it's fine.
is that coming out?
March 23rd, I
I'm gonna
think.
watch the
Looking
shit
forward
out
to
of
that.
Yeah.
The first season was really good.
I'm hoping it's as good as the first season.
Yeah. It also stars once again Charlie Cox, Deborah Ann Wall, who's still the hottest redhead on the planet. Eldon Henson, who was a
what
Bash
about Carrot
brother.
Top?
Close second.
Okay.
Eldon Henson, who we all remember as the Bash brother from Mighty Ducks. John Bernthal, who's going to be playing the Punisher in Season 2.
Yeah.
And then Elodie Young, who's going to be a villain, I believe, in this one. It's a continuation of Daredevil's heroics through Hell's Kitchen, this time with the Punisher.
Be interesting to see how he works into things without fucking it up.
Yeah. All I know is the pictures, like they have one still of John Bernthal as the Punisher. Looks cool.
John Bernthal is having questionable sex in everything I watched lately, or over the last few years. Like there's
Questionable how?
Like,
Like,
he
are you
shouldn't
like,
be there,
like The Walking Dead,
or like, is he having sex?
like The
or
Walking
Wolf
Dead,
of Wall Street.
Wolf of Wall Street, Sicario also.
Yeah.
Yeah, John Bernthal is, I guess the ladies like him, even if they shouldn't.
Yeah. Trailer number 4, Money Monster, directed by Jodie Foster, who we know from her acting prowess in Silence of the Lambs, Inside Man, Taxi Driver, and Contact. Written by Alan DeFiore, he gave us Da Vinci's Inquest and Grimm.
So is this her directing debut?
No, she did a movie
I
with
feel
Mel
like-
Gibson called Beaver.
Oh no!
Please.
Is that the one where you had a puppet the whole
Yeah.
time?
Yeah.
Please, dear God, tell me it's about a real beaver.
That's a puppet
Did you
beaver.
guys know that
Okay.
the character of Watto from episode 1 was actually created by Mel Gibson?
Is that true?
No,
No, but
it's an
should be.
anti-Semitism joke though. Anti-Semite?
Oh, have you guys? You didn't watch?
Anti-dentite?
You didn't watch the Golden Globes,
No.
where Mel Gibson was. We all know that Ricky Gervais hosted this year.
I heard his joke about Mel Gibson.
Oh man, actually Mel Gibson. They went back and forth like surprisingly well, like bashing each other.
I'll probably go back and watch parts of that.
You can watch it there, the whole thing.
The man
So-
with the least subtlety.
Money Monster. It stars George Clooney, Julia Roberts, Jack O'Connell, Dominic West, and Giancarlo Esposito, who we know as Gus from Breaking Bad. Gustavo. The plot is a stock market show host is taken hostage by a man whose life was ruined by the market crash. Does not look good.
Oh, okay. Here, that
I
looks.
don't think it looks terrible.
I'm on
Yeah.
board.
I like it.
Yeah,
That sounds so dumb.
It may
does
be,
sound
may-
so dumb.
And maybe the music in the trailer. The music was shit.
Were
something
you
of-
not assuaged by Clune Dog's beautiful eyes?
the Clune.
The Clune Hound.
I hated the trailer for this, but I really like the premise.
Yeah, I just feel like this might be one of those sneaky earlier movies where you
Yeah.
don't even think it's really probably
And
worth your time.
can
but
we
then
just
you're like,
say-
it's pretty good?
Julia Roberts and George Clooney like working together. Their chemistry is like
They're
amazing.
really
Dude,
good at
whenever
that.
like the ocean movies,
Yeah.
they were killing it there.
Yeah.
Final trailer, the trailer I personally was the most excited and fell in love with this trailer. 10 Cloverfield Lane. Directed by Dan Trachtenberg. I don't know if you guys saw Portal No Escape. It was a 7-minute short on YouTube.
Oh wow! Oh, that's what that is. Okay.
Do you remember that, like the 7-minute short?
But that was a couple. That was
2008 2011, I think is when that came out.
Okay. Yeah.
It has like 14 million views or
That was
something.
pretty damn
It was
good.
really good, but that guy who directed that is directing this now. This is like J.J. Abrams is like, dude, that was great. How about you direct the new Cloverfield movie? He's like, oh, what?
Was that guy, is he in any way related to Harriet the Spy star Michelle Trachtenberg?
Wants to do it. Why not?
Is that true?
Written by Damien Chazelle, who gave us Whiplash.
Yeah. Damn.
Whiplash, one of my
Whiplash.
top 10 favorite movies of all time. Surprisingly, a movie came out last year and
It's
it
a
made,
really good movie.
Yep. I think
We
you
saw
like
that.
I think you like Birdman more, didn't you?
I did, but it was a narrow...
Yeah.
God, I don't know, though, in retrospect.
Birdman.
Birdman. This movie stars John Goodman, John Gallagher Jr., and Mary Elizabeth Winstead, who I thought was Brie Larson when I first saw her. They looked the same. They were both in Scott Pilgrim versus the World.
Yeah.
But I think they are like twins. I can't tell the difference. It is a possible sequel to the 2008 American kaiju film, Cloverfield. With the way J.J. Abrams does these Cloverfield movies, he's so secretive. This could have nothing to do with that movie.
But it totally does.
Are you sure?
Yeah.
Has to have something to do with it.
I don't know. I think
Kind
I
of hope
think
it doesn't. I don't know why, even though I liked Cloverfield.
There's clearly something going on.
There's something going on.
I'll tell you what. Here's how good he is. You actually doubt that this is going to be a sequel.
Yeah, I
It
do.
fucking is, but that's how good his advertising is. It's making you doubt that.
Yeah, I think it's pretty clear that this is the Boba Fett offshoot
What they have shown
from Star Wars.
of that trailer, like what we saw in that trailer could have easily transpired within 5 to 10 minutes of the actual film.
Yeah.
So who's to say what else is happening?
The
in there?
marketing they did for the original 2008 film was so pro kaiju. This is what this movie is going to be.
Yeah.
There was a lot of talk that it was actually going to be the Ultron or Voltron movie.
Oh yeah,
People
I
thought it
remember
was
that.
going to be the Voltron, and that did not happen.
This is the backstory of Greedo. Now I'm
And then
sure
then everybody thought that J.J. Abrams was remaking Godzilla.
Yep.
that I remember that being the prevailing.
Yeah.
I knew that it was going to be like an American Godzilla.
You know what was
not
disgusting?
like a remake,
Are those
but
lice
like
bug things.
Dude, they were scary as
They
fuck.
were. Like, I was more scared of those.
maybe
Yeah.
that's what she's seeing out of the window.
Yeah. God, okay. And
Maybe like
as-
the world's fucking ended
Oh
because
no!
kaiju's.
The monster has crabs again.
I think that Mike is right. I do think that it is a sequel.
It is.
But he's wily enough to where I am able to doubt. Like, if this, like, not related at all, I'm like, I can say I called it, but then I'm trying to find a middle ground where, like, I called it both ways.
It's so weird because I think that he's like I think he's a solid writer.
Yeah.
But the thing about him is he is an expert at making at ending movies and making you have questions, and like that's what motivated Lost. Is you were just like, I have to find out what
God,
happens
I
next.
loved that show.
So like
I'm watching it again. That's what we were watching it before you got here.
I just I think Jareth and I were watching something, and this guy was saying that like now with Star Wars we have so many questions. We have so many questions about that fucking movie. Who's Rey related to? Who's Snoke? And like those are things that are going to motivate us to keep watching. Thanks, J.J. Abrams. It's what he does.
He's good. The guy is good. So if you guys were to rank from best to worst on this trailer list, or I guess worst to best, we've been doing
pretty
a lot
good
of.
set of trailers.
Are we judging by the quality of the trailer or by the apparent quality of the movie?
Can you separate them? Like,
Because like a trailer can look
like what
crappy,
we're most
but
excited to see?
yeah.
Okay, so for me, of this list, I'm sorry, Money Monster actually, of all of these things, I am most interested in.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
It's by least.
I'm sorry.
And then from like there.
Oh, down from there? Probably be Money Monster, High Rise, 10 Cloverfield, Daredevil, and then Elvis.
Okay.
I think I'm probably High Rise in number 1, Daredevil season 2, 10 Cloverfield Lane, Elvis and Nixon, and then Money Monster.
Oh, fine.
Not because
Fine, you can think that.
fine.
not because Money Monster looks bad, just because these all look
These
really
all,
good.
I will watch all these.
Yeah.
I will say High Rise 1 because I don't know what the fuck it is.
Yeah.
So my interest is piqued.
I
Right.
could use some more Hiddleston in my life.
Yeah, man.
Cloverfield 2 for the same reason. Money Monster, which I'm with Mike on. I think that's going to be pretty solid. Mike and I are going to go watch it together, and you guys can fuck yourselves.
Hey, I wanted to
Jared
see
actually said he really wants to see it, and you just want to seclude him.
Dick.
Yeah, I don't. Sometimes I don't even realize he's here. Then Elvis and Nixon, and then Daredevil 2 last, only because I know what it is completely.
Yeah. Okay.
But that doesn't reduce my excitement. I'll watch the whole thing in one day, probably.
All right, so for me, number 1, 10 Cloverfield Lane. I love that first movie so much, and I've been waiting for the sequel. I'm afraid that our YouTube channel is going to turn into a conspiracy Cloverfield channel.
Oh no.
Then number 4, most anticipated. I'll go with I'll go with Daredevil season 2, followed very closely by High Rise, and then Elvis Nixon, and then Money Monster.
Yeah. Fair enough.
Money Monster is like a green version of the Cookie Monster.
Yes.
You have to feed your cash to him.
Nom, 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 nom.
All right, quick plugs. Spoiler cast.
I think we're doing I know we're doing a debriefing that I will be on Tuesday, and I think that goes up that day or Wednesday or something like that. So that's a thing. And then I think we're going to record one on Sunday. So that'll be up the following Wednesday from there.
Yeah,
So
no idea what our topic is yet, though.
pretty typical stuff going on there.
All right.
Yeah. I have 75 plugs.
Backup catcher.
Yeah, the Backup Catcher podcast. It's about baseball, and the Slow Descent podcast, as presented by Butu Incorporated, which is Van's fake company, and also theslowdescent.com is the website that I
Looks
operate.
really good.
I write stuff on there about stuff, music, movies, television, and that's really mainly the gist of it. Andrew?
I've retweeted some of your stuff. Actually.
Retweeted. I know. I like this Twitter thing. Jareth and I are on Twitter.
Oh my God! Follow Jareth on Twitter, guys.
Yeah, it's great.
Okay, did you change your handle, or are you still the
I'm
Perpetual
still
Wizard?
Perpetual Wizard.
Okay.
And I post things like a butt-tallion, which is a literal buttload of soldiers.
Yeah.
What is your Twitter handle?
Perpetual Wizard. Jareth Mooneyham at Perpetual Wizard.
That's not how that works, man.
I don't know what it means.
No, that's exactly
it's just
how.
at Perpetual Wizard, right?
Well, you can have a
you
different.
can
name.
email him at Jareth Mooneyham at. All this sounds made up.
Okay, so no, Jareth he's actually right, because
Is that-
my name on Twitter is Andrew Ormsby, but my handle is at the Andrew
Okay,
Ormsby.
so you were just saying as two independent clauses there. All right. I just was every opportunity I get to.
I didn't know for certain because I still don't fully understand how Twitter works.
I don't
I just
either.
throw
Nobody
things
does.
at
It
it
is
sometimes.
it is a glorious thing to behold, and you're missing out if you're not following him right now.
It really is amazing.
All right. For us here at Flick Freaks, you can find us on Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, iTunes, Instagram, all forms of social media, pretty much. All of those at /Flick Freaks. Support us on Patreon, head over to the store, and we will catch you in the next episode. Until next time, Godspeed.
Bye, Internet.